First of all, let me introduce you with the structure of the AIT funds first, before I go to the AIT research. The AIT has been split the funds into many fund types. Let's say, first, endowment fund, when donors has donated money with a specific purpose and can't use the principal or the use of community interest, we keep the money here in the fund balance. Okay? Then we have the academic programs that open on top of a normal program, which will be kept in this fund. So it's the academic program fund. We have the non-academics, like Mr. Dr. Jonathan Chong mentioned, like extension projects, the consulting projects. All of this will be presented in this fund balance. Then we have the fixed asset funds. Whatever that we purchase for the fixed asset will be kept here as a fixed asset fund balance. We have the agency fund from donors. Let's say that RTG, they donate money for scholarships for other countries. Then the money will be kept here as a fund, and we transfer to a normal operating fund when the tuition fee is due. And then we have the RCAP fund balance. Last, this is a reserve from surplus of operating fund. This is what we are talking. This is what we are concerned, because every fund has their own money, has their own activities to run. But this is the key issue to the AIT money. I'm talking about the money as of reporting the latest report that we have September 2012. In terms of cash, AIT has total money now as of September of 870 million baht. And then divided into a different fund. Okay? The fund and the money probably would have not necessarily to be the same figures. It's just like when we record fund, we have a tuition and fee, we record the income right away, but students could pay later because of the credit term. So the cash would come later after. So there would be the lapping time between the income and the real cash that's coming in. All right? So what we're going to discuss from now is the surplus of operating funds, because this is going to subsidize AIT in the future in case that we have a deficit, or in case that we have a surplus, it's going to build AIT fund to be stronger. So let's look at the logic of this fund balance. We start with the operating fund balance, and whenever AIT annually surplus and deficit, we have the annual net surplus or deficit, it will be transferred into this fund. If that surplus is build up more fund, if it deficit, then it consumes. But we short of money for operation, we spend more than what we earn. So we have to take money from this deposit, from this safe box, all right? So if we have the surplus from completed programs, then this surplus will, at the end of the programs, will move to this reserve, then become AIT reserve, right? Then if AIT want to buy fixed assets, AIT will take money from this reserve fund and to buy fixed assets, and it will reduce the fund, of course. So the ending will be operating fund balance. Now look at what happened to AIT from 2010, 11, 12, and 13. You can see that the ending operating fund balance of the AIT at the 2010 will be 320, down to 236, down to 191 and 145. We forecast that by the end of 2012, AIT will have the reserve fund around 191. Let's look at what happened. Line items that have the impact of the increase or decrease of the fund. You see that one of the net deficit and operating funds. 2011, AIT has a deficit of 41. Of course, it had already eaten the reserve. 176, that will eat more of the reserve. And 2013, AIT projected to have the deficit of 67 million. I will go into detail later with those deficits, why is so much deficit. And then surplus from completed programs. 2010, we already had the surplus of the completed programs, 7 million. 2011, we forecast 22 million in 2012 and 21 in 2013. And most of this one, a lot of income come from AIT extension, which has done a very pretty good job, bringing a lot of the projects. Then, big asset. This is what has been purchased in AIT in 2012. At the beginning of the year, AIT has spent a lot of money, almost 50 million baht, doing all of this fixing infrastructure before we move into the campus in the first quarter of this year, right? Then 2012, we have asked, we have reported to the council that we need to transfer money, that part of the endowment fund, because we have our reserve is going down, decreasing on time. So we asked permission from the council to move the money, 26 million baht, which is part of the endowment fund. This is the money then since 1997, during the time when the baht devalued. Baht used to fix at 25 baht per dollar and then went up to 56 baht. So AIT, which then charged the tuition fee in US dollar, has earned a lot of money. And then we park partial of the money, the surplus, in this endowment fund for rainy day, and this is the time to use it. So this has been moved back to the reserve of 26 million. And last thing is the transfer of money from insurance. Money, 133. This has been moved to the AIT reserve. Where does it come from? There are two types of the insurance money. One is the building insurance. The first money of the building insurance, we settled with the TPR insurance of 270 million baht. We already collected all this money, 270 million baht. And then with the committee that reviewed how to spend on the Stand Upgrade committee, then we decided to move 49, allocate the 49 million baht, and then move it back to reserve. We don't spend it all. 49 million baht, we'll just build up the reserve. Then the second is the equipment insurance money. The equipment insurance has been dragged on for a year, since last October 25, the case of insurance, because of the discussion of the methodology, how to refund the equipment, whether we're going to buy the equipment and then they top up some of the partial of the money, and then we only can buy the asset damage replace only. So after the negotiation, we got a good news from the loss adjuster, which has been appointed by, is a professional firm which has been appointed by insurance company to do the loss assessment. They have, and now they sent us the email on the 21st, which is only 10 days ago, that look, we willing to give you, instead of the replacement value, which is so confusing, we'll give you the indemnity value. We give you the money of 223 million baht without condition. They estimate that the loss is 223 million baht, right? So if AIT gonna get the money, that means that there is no any restriction. AIT can opt to keep the whole money for the reserve and buy whatever we want. So this is good news. And the AIT has sent the letter to loss adjuster last week that yes, we're going to pick up this, choose this option, 223 million baht. So within the next 2 weeks, loss adjuster will call a meeting with insurance and all the reinsurers just to discuss about this, to confirm the figures, and then the term of payment, when they're going to pay all of this 223 million baht to AIT. Right? So this money, so under this reserve, we assume that we're confident that we're going to get the money, because the loss adjuster is a professional firm appointed by the insurance company. So anyway, so if we got the money, once we got the money, 133, what we will do is that we will spend about 139, and then we will allocate 84 million baht of this insurance and kick it back to the reserve, just to build up reserve. So that's how the reserve is going to be. And by the end of the 2012, we're going to have 191 million of the reserve. Carry to next year of 2013, of course, we have some deficit. And then by the end of next year, 2013, we should have a surplus of, or we have the reserve of 145. Then back to why AIT has so much of deficit. That might be a question. Why 2011 we have loss of 41, 2012 we have loss of 176, and 2013 why we still lost? Okay. Then look at the analysis of this surplus or deficit. You will see that this is divided into income and expenditure. The income, net tuition and fee, you will see that for 2012, the tuition fee has dropped a lot from 438 down to 332. If you look at this, we will see that one of the reasons is because of the RTG scholarship. RTG scholarship, 2007 to 2009, we used to get scholarship from RTG, Royal Thai Government, of 165 million baht a year, reduced to 95 million baht in 2010, and down to 40 million baht in 2011. 2012, we expected to get 61 million baht, but we only got 13.4, and then the rest we have not received. So this will impact to how schools going to enroll new intake students because of the scholarship has been cut down, right? And also in 2011, when schools enroll students who got the message that yes, RTG would be reinstalled back to the normal level. So students that have been enrolled in 2011 will enroll under RTG scholarship. But once we find out that we didn't get that RTG scholarship, then it's AIT who has to support students, and it become AIT expenses under the AIT fellowship. And that's happened 2011, students enroll and then become the under the AIT shoulder, it's on the AIT shoulder, it's about 46 million. So that's how, and then we hopefully get the school projection next year. So we build up, the tuition fee going to build up based on the number, there won't be any impact. This is the students with no RTG, under the scenario that there won't be any RTG scholarship. This is going to be the figure. When you look at the revenues from IFN IFN units, this is the units under Integrated Facility Management units, which is support units, mostly under taken care of by Sodexo. So the revenue has gone down, and because of, you can see that it's mostly is because of the flood. The infrastructure has not been built up, renovated because of short of the money. And so there is no any infrastructure to provide, and so there is no any service to generate from this, like AIT Conference Center, dining room, right, and faculty staff housings. And then maybe the next one is other revenues. Other revenues, actually there's a big improvement is because of AIT in this revenue fund, or reserve fund, you earn more on the overhead from project, which mainly will come from the, let's say, extension. They do a pretty good job, and then the AIT will earn more overhead from them. In terms of operating expenses, is in line with 600 million. Flood expense that incurred in the last quarter of 2011 carried to 2012, 68 million. And then non-operating. You will see that the non-operating here is negative 30 million baht. This is because of the ISFS fraud case that happened before, which we discovered in 2009. That happened in the previous management, not by the management, but happened because of the AIT. We hired one of the freelance consultant to take care of the ISF, which is the kind of a provident fund, but it's not that. Before we have Thailand has a legal provident fund, AIT has a kind of like an internal provident fund, and then this lady was doing some fraud, moved money to her pocket. And then this started in 2009, and then the board of trustees then decided, yes, we're going to support ISF because she stole money from the ISF member. So to help by giving money to ISF member, and then we sue this lady, and whoever involved, and whatever outcome, whatever money that we will receive, will just bring back to AIT. Right? That's a 50 million something. So if you look at the 41 million baht, why is a lot of the deficit? And this is because of the flood expense and write-off of this ISF. And then you look at the 176, why such a lot of this is because of the decrease in the tuition fee. And then we have a loss on the flood expenses. And then 2013, yes, we will build up the revenue, trying to build the revenue on the tuition fee. And then we carry the same kind of expenses build up, so we have less of the deficit. So all in all, we need to, in the future, we need to build up more and more tuition and fees. So it's a strategy, you know. So if you look at the term of the graph, this is the reserve fund that we look in terms of 2005, and then it's go down to 2011. But still, if this is the case, means AIT is still safe from short of money. If you look in terms of the breakdown by month in next year, 2013, we will see that the money will go up in January because of the tuition and fee that we earn, and August again because of the tuition that we earn from students. And then we will go down because of the net expenses, and then we'll go up again. But anyway, by the end of next year, 2013, this will be more than 100 million baht. In terms of cash flow, it would be a bit different in terms of the cash, real cash, because students, when we record the income here, students might pay less, pay tuition fee less, so it would be like this. So if we going to one of the ways students can help it is when those who are self-support can help it by paying on time. Next one, AIT and AIT Vietnam. AIT and AIT Vietnam. You look, this is the AIT main campus, and then this is the AIT Vietnam, the research. So this would be the bottom line. Okay, so that's briefly, that's what I would like to discuss about the finance.
I would request the council members to please come on the stage and take their seats so that we can start the Q&A session. May I have your attention, please? We'll start the Q&A session now. Please be precise, brief in your question and on the current situation and the future of AIT. There are a few mics here. When you come down, please introduce yourself and ask your question to the council members. We also have few questions which we received through the email in the last few days. So how we'll manage, we'll have one question from the email which has been received and one question from the audience. And then we'll have around 1 hour, whatever you want to ask.
Question and answer session.
And the council members are here to answer your questions. The first question I think I would read, which we got from email, and this is from Kun Ekachai. He's a very dear student of ours, and he is, his full name is Kun Ekachai Choran Chai Monkon, if I'm pronouncing right. And he's an AIT student. He's doing his PhD under the supervision of Dr. Janek since 2007. And he says that during these couple of weeks, he is extremely concerned about the problem with my colleague students who had been graduated in the mid of this year. Some of them are lecturers from the Thai local university or possess a civil service position in the Royal Thai government. They said that certificate received from AIT cannot be used to upgrade their position. I will then come to the question. I am writing this email to express my depth concern that the certificate I deem for in the end of my PhD study will be useless for external use. Do the President or any authority of the person at AIT is aware of this problem? Are there any solutions to solve this problem? So this question was by Kun Ekachai, so may I request our esteemed council members and the panelists here to please answer this question. We have Ambassador of Bangladesh will reply this.
Thank you, first of all, I would like to convey our deepest appreciation to this large congregation and the AIT management to have organized this tour. As Ambassador of India had said in his initial remarks that we, as a member of the council, hold the students' interest at our heart. The core of this institution and core of our interest as member of the council are the students' welfare and the achievements that they would have in the process of education. Now, the question raised by is whether these certificates are valid or not. I mean, to put it plainly. What do you feel, if I may pose this question to you? Do you think that your hard work, your effort, which is recognized in a piece of paper called certificate, is invalid, is useless? I would trust you to say no. For the simple reason that what we are faced today is a brief derogation from the normal process. There are issues which do not really relate to the validity of these certificates. It's a process which is more administrative and legal of ratifying a charter, of getting on board. And the best part of it is that Thailand, as a host country, as a headquarter of AIT under the new charter, has continued to express a strong commitment that they would be a part of this process, which had already been initiated. Now it's only a matter of time, procedural issues that needs to be sorted out. In the initial comments by Ambassador Anil Bhatt, he has said that we are certainly seized of the matter. We are going to have a meeting with the Thai Foreign Office to sort out, to see how this process can be expedited, fastened, so that I would say that the apprehension that you have whether your degrees will be recognized, will be accepted, will be valid or not, can be removed as quickly as possible. We, from the council point of view, can assure you, please do not have any doubt, any trust in your own ability, in your own institution, because this institution is there which is going to live. And so your degrees would be valid. It's only question of, I would say, only maybe we are away from a few weeks to few months to having resolved this issues, if you may say. The certificates certainly going to be recognized in Thailand as well as we in our countries continue to recognize the certificate issued by the institution. Thank you.
Can we have the next question? I think Rajiv, the president of the student union. There's a mic at the back, please.
Respected Excellencies, on behalf of the student community, I would like to thank all of you for this opportunity of us, for giving us this opportunity. I am the current student union president, and I go through all the concerns that students raise in AIT. I have some very simple questions to ask to the council members. First of all, I just heard from His Excellency from Bangladesh that you trust your efforts, your hard work, and all. But when we go out, it's the degree that matters. And the letters that we got in the past clearly say that it's not valid. So, some questions I have to ask. First of all, what steps have been taken in this regard by the AIT Council? Second, what is the time frame of solving this issue? And the third, as is visible by the letter from Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Office of Higher Education Commission, that the whole issue will be solved if AIT goes back to the Board of Trustees, the BOT. Why can't we go back? I don't know what's the reason. It's visible from the letters. So why can't we go back? These three questions I have to. These three questions I wish to ask on behalf of the student community. These three questions, they really want to know the answers, and I think this is a proper platform to get these answers and the concerns being solved. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Rajiv. May I request again Ambassador Bangladesh, please.
I thought I had covered these parts. Maybe I should like to be precise. In terms of steps, we, as the member of the council, continue to seize with the host government, engage with the host government. Because as Ambassador Rizwan rightly said, that it's imperative Thailand as a host country, as having the headquarters of AIT under the new charter, be on board, meaning be a part of this entire process. Now, there are procedural issues which in Thai government's letter that you may have had in your may have seen. They've said that they have initiated the process. Thailand has signed the charter. Its parliament is required to ratify it, which clearly indicates the full commitment of the government of Thailand to this new process. Now, the steps taken both by the government of Thailand and by us is to see there are certain issues relating to governance, there are certain issues relating to certain other engagements which needs to be cleared out. Now, how the process will evolve, we are trying to work it out. We had a number of formal and informal consultation with the government of Thailand. We have a number of informal consultations within the council members, so that once government of Thailand is on board, the necessary mechanism for running the institutions are in place. For example, the working group on drafting the new bylaws are meeting in an informal setting, so that the administrative rules are all there. Now, the steps they are taking are clearly, we are engaged with Thailand, we have the discussion, and as of now, I can say that we are going to meet permanent secretary of the Foreign Affairs, and as early as the 5th of November. and we are very hopeful to get a very fruitful outcome of that meeting, which will lead to clear many of the ambiguities that may exist now, clear many of the confusions that you would have. So that in terms of steps that are being taken, what is the time frame? Well, I must admit we do not have a very clear idea of the time frame. But it's not for us alone, us as a council member, to say that we have 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. It would certainly depend on a very, very important partner. You must also understand, and I'm sure you do understand, that Government of Thailand has, if not more than equal responsibility that the other council members have. And I'm sure the Government of Thailand is equally concerned about the welfare and well-being of the students that are studying here. Therefore, there is no lack of any commitment, any desire on the part of Thailand to resolve this issue as soon as possible. If that had not been the case, we would not have been able to engage with Thailand in so frequent intervals. As of now, I can say the 5th November is a very important date for all of us, and we do look forward to having a very fruitful outcome of that engagement in the meeting. And the last question was, well, there are, with regard to the question why we can't go back to the old board of trustees. There are legal interpretations of why we can or why we cannot. As a council member, perhaps you would also know those who have a little familiarity with international law. It's that we have got an international commitment, and we take on that commitment through signing and ratifying an international agreement. Now, the charter, which was negotiated and drafted by all the members and interested countries, had assumed a legal status internationally in terms of international law. Those who have become member of this charter by signing it and ratifying it, there are two parts of an aspect of it. One is signing and then ratifying. Those who have signed and ratified, for them, the council, which is a body, governing body or decision-making body under the new charter, is the body where the decisions with regard to the governance and other issues of AIT should be taken on board and then can be decided. Whereas those countries who were a part of the board of trustees, countries or members, if they have not signed and ratified the charter, there is no obligation for them to sit. Neither they have any difficulty in getting on the board of trustees meeting or joining the council. Now, the difficulty is not so much whether the board meets or whether the council meets. The crux of the issue, and perhaps we should concentrate more on that, it's not the form that is important, it is the outcome that we should be looking at. And we, from the council point of view, we are trying our utmost, let me assure you, without sounding as a rhetoric, we are trying our utmost, keeping the best interest of the students in mind. Because it's not only the students of Thailand which are studying here, it's our students as well. So, the interest of all the students are of prime interest to us, and we feel that it's not the form which should be more important than the outcome. Therefore, whether it is a board or whether it is a council, wherever we can meet and resolve our differences, that should be the objective. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now, the next email which we received was by Professor Daughtry, who is with the chair of this academic senate. And there are a few questions. I think few of the questions which were raised in his email have been answered by Ambassador of Bangladesh already, but I will read the questions. And the Senate meeting was held on 17th of October, and these questions come after the meeting. The questions are: when AIT Council will declare its position as formal and be responsible for AIT legally? Number two, if it does not happen now, what is the alternative available path for re-establishing the governance system of AIT? Number three, what is the level of negotiation going with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs? I think Ambassador of Bangladesh has already answered this twice. What is the legal position of the Council on the response to MOFA letters of 2nd May and 13th September addressed to AIT President? These letters clearly state that AIT under the new charter, including the Governing Council, cannot perform its duties in Thailand in the absence of the new AIT Enabling Act and operate the institute in accordance with the 1967 Charter and the Enabling Act for the benefit of its graduates, as well as to uphold the legality and credibility of AIT. I think the last two questions, more or less, the Ambassador of Bangladesh has answered, so I would request the council members again to please reply to the first two questions and the later part of question number 4. The first two questions are: when the AIT Council will declare its position as formal and be responsible for AIT legally? The second is: if it does not happen now, what is the alternative path for re-establishing the governance system of AIT? Of Bangladesh,
please. It's not so much of the question of declaring one's sovereignty. I mean, we are not in an environment where we are intending to be confrontationalist. There's not the question, as I said, that it's not the form that should be important. It is the outcome that should guide us in our endeavor. The council, as per the new charter, became effective when the charter came into force. Now, we are equally concerned and taking the cognizance to the fact that a very important partner in this whole process, which is Thailand, has not yet been able to join us in terms of ratifying this. We can go ahead, but would that be a sensible course of action? I suppose not. I can be a guest at your residence only if you invite us. And if you suddenly wake up in the morning and say a friend of yours whom you have not seen in 20 years is sitting in your dining room taking out orange juice from your refrigerator, you would certainly be surprised. We do not want to become that friend who is uninvited. Our intention is Thailand being a very, very important partner in this whole process, which has supported this institution, which has nurtured this institution, which has contributed so much to the growth and development of this institution, be an integral part of the entire process, even in the most difficult of times. And our intention is to maintain that goodwill, maintain that friendship, maintain that partnership for an effective, successful AIT. Therefore, the question, I suppose, is declaring sovereignty takes a much back stage than the outcome which would be most beneficial for the entire AIT. And the authentic part, we are certainly very hopeful of having these issues resolved in the shortest possible time. Let me assure you that there is no dearth of our commitment from the Council point of view, and I do not doubt the slightest that similar commitment exists from Thailand, which has got certain procedural issues that needs to be worked out, and we are working together. And I am personally very hopeful before the end of the. And I do not want to put a time frame as such, though. But before the new year, we would have things back on track as we all be. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Very positive remarks from you. May I have Her Ambassador from Cambodia, please?
Good morning, everybody. Students, alumni, and faculty. President, Excellency. Our common position of the member of the council, like the two ambassadors have explained. But I do not want to be or to see ambassador of Bangladesh to be the monologue today. I would like to share why we have this problem. Why we have this problem, the misunderstanding, the misinterpretation of one issue by two group of lawyers. The lawyer from the AIT and the lawyer from the government of Thailand, the state of the Council of State, interpret the issue differently. Wow, that is the issue, right? Yeah, the issue that the question that raised by from the AIT point of view that we are already member of the council, the AIT charter is already coming into force after the signing of the state party. But from the point of view of the government of Thailand, that is very important, that say no, cannot. Because we have the charter before, we have the enabling act. AIT enabling act is not yet annulled and avoided and not be changed, and the charter is not yet ratified by the government, the Thai parliament, which one cannot. But I would like to say only that why we have this different interpretation on the same issue, the same law. And from the lawyer point of view, or two group of lawyers from AIT and from the government of Thailand. That is the problem. Now we know this problem. We know this problem long time ago. Sometime before I delete the email because I do not want to read anymore. People from Cambodia also have ratified the charter after years. Now I have how to begin. I restart to look on that, and now we have this morning we have a very informal meeting about ambassador, among ambassador, member of the council. We will and promise we will talk with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Education, higher department or higher education to solve this problem, because for the benefit of Thailand, for the benefit of all students, not only Thailand but worldwide. We are committed. But the decision, the time frame is not dependent on the member of the council or depend on the government of Thailand, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. It's the key role to play in this. Yeah. And we also have some, informal meeting, and the way that we solve the problem, we cannot say to do today. Nah? But we promise that we will do, if we are committed, we will have. We would like to see AIT to go ahead. Yeah. Because AIT is very worldwide known. And that is our commitment. All depends on the government of Thailand. But we will persuade the government of Thailand to solve the problem together with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Excellency from Cambodia, from Bangladesh. and very reassuring words by these excellencies. Let us assure you here that we all are like a family and we all love AIT. And we would wish that, as you promised, that these problems are solved pretty soon and our students, our faculty and our staff are in the same situation which was there a year before. Now we have another question from the floor. Could you please introduce yourself and then ask the question?
Good morning, His Excellencies, and students, faculty. I'm Rachana Yongbong-Suksuri, a PhD student of RRDP. I joined AIT in January semester 2012. And since I joined AIT, I have had a lot of information that is very much disturbing. And having followed the progress and also the evidence officially with all the stamps and the seal, it have come to my attention that I would like to ask two questions. First, on behalf as a Thai. Second, I would like to ask on behalf as a student. First question is, Thai government has seemed to be addressed and brought up in this discussion in this forum. Why is no representative present? Were any of the Thai government officials even invited? If not, or if yes, that I would probably wouldn't have an answer. But my question, I would like to, as a Thai, give a bit of a clarification on the status and also on the Thai politics and law system. Based on the official documents that has been available, Thailand has not ratified the charter because lack of governance transparency. And they stated in the letter that they will consider